watching Seven Rivers Sports here on KQEG. I'm your host, Terry Erickson. Each week, an inside look into sports, wellness, and fitness. Introduce you to some key people throughout the greater La Crosse area. Well, this week, I'll look back at the career of Emma McDonald, former Onalaska Hilltopper, moves to become a Ripon Redhawk, flew under the radar. Now, a lot of media maybe forgot about Emma McDonald. Not us at Seven Rivers Sports, because we are going to talk to you about a tremendous career, a remarkable young lady. Welcome to the show, Emma.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, it started long before the Onalaska Hilltopper days. You started as an athlete when you were very young. Let's go down memory lane and look and talk about that.
Sure, yeah. I was born into a basketball family. My grandpa coached at UWL, my dad coached at Logan. So, you know, from the moment I was born, I kind of consider myself in a gym. I started really playing in second and first grade for the rec leagues, and then I played for my first competitive team in fifth grade. And, you know, since then I played for AAU teams and then high school, and now I just finished up my college career. Well,
and of course, I'm a friend of the family, and your dad was on a team I coached years ago. Your uncle Tyler, a tremendous athlete, played for me, worked games as an official for your grandfather, and so it's really appropriate to have you on and kind of relive some of the past. Looking back at some of your coaches when you were young, who really inspired you?
I was very lucky. I had some great coaches throughout my career. I look up to Shane Schmaling, Coach Rob Vio, Andy Benasic, my AAU coach, along with Carrie Theo, who is my assistant coach for high school, and then in through college, Lauren Johnson. All of them have been great role models for me, and I really look up to all of them, and I've learned a ton from each one of them.
Well, I know all of them, actually, and it's good that you mention them because they all have a gift to teach the game. Mm-hmm. Well, so fast forward your experiences when you were young to Onalaska Hilltoppers. You were on the varsity from your freshman season on, and I think from your sophomore to your senior year, you were like 62-12 or something, and you won 2 MVC championships, junior and senior year. You were blessed with a good coach, a good friend, Rob Vio, and you were blessed with a lot of good teammates.
Absolutely.
Reflect on your career at Onalaska.
Yeah, my career at Onalaska was awesome. I grew up playing with the girls, so we started together in 5th grade. Courtney Meyer joined us in 7th grade, but it was awesome just growing up playing with them at the YMCA and then living out our dreams of winning the conference our junior and senior years. We worked hard together all the time, and it was really fun. And then to see a lot of us go off to college and play too was really cool.
I talked to your coach, Rob Vio, just yesterday, and again, he's a good friend, and unfortunately is not coaching anymore, but he left his mark at Onalaska. But he talked about your dedication to the game. I asked him, what did Emma really bring to the game? Well, besides being a great shooter, again, you were blessed with good teammates, so you sort of knew your role, and your role maybe was not in the limelight. It was to do some things that were less than maybe spectacular, but you could have shot the ball more. And on our broadcast, I used to say, Emma, shoot the ball more, because you had a tremendous ability to shoot the ball. We're going to talk about that because you showed the world when you got to Ripon. But going back to high school, you were on the team all 4 years. According to the research that I did, you never missed a practice. You never missed a game in all those years. You just personified dedication to the team. What is that your biggest strength, and what sort of galvanized that personality?
I think since I was young, I just had a very strong work ethic. I wanted to be the best that I could be and contribute to a team, you know, as much as I could, whatever role that was, I wanted to be the best at it. So in high school, I just tried my best to be one of the best passers. I tried to get the ball up the court as fast as I can because, like you said, I played with some great teammates. So if I could get them the ball and they could do what they do with it, then that was perfect for me. I just wanted the team to be as successful as it could be.
But a lot of young people, even at the college level and in professional sports, are not comfortable with that role. sharing the limelight and sort of deflecting to other people, understanding their role. That's unusual, Emma McDonald.
Yeah, well, I had fun doing it. That was something I enjoyed, so it came easy to me, I think, just because if we were having success, then that's all that I cared about. I wanted the team to be as great as it could be, and no matter how I did that, I just wanted to fill that role as well as I could.
But you didn't have success, I mean, all the way through. There were some setbacks.
There were.
And some athletes have trouble handling setbacks. What were some of your setbacks, and how did you handle that?
I think it's always tough coming off of a hard loss. So in high school, we came off some hard losses in the postseason. Never made it past the regional final championship. So I think the way that I overcame some of those setbacks was just to get in the gym again. Work as hard as you can, figure out what you were doing wrong, figure out what you could be doing differently, and just work as hard as you can to fix those mistakes, and just develop yourself as well as you can be and be prepared for the next challenge. Well,
and you were all conference as a senior. You were academic all conference every year. You were certainly personified again what it takes to be a team player. You took some difficult subjects. You only had one B throughout your high school, middle school years, and it could have been from a guy that I know pretty well.
Yeah, I got a B in a PE class from Coach Vio, but that's okay.
But that maybe was the catalyst to take you to a level where you never got a B after that.
That might have been it. Yep.
So that was an inspiration there.
Absolutely.
But you had some tough classes, and what was special about being a Hilltopper?
I think what was special is I grew up in this community, and I got to do what I love in front of the community, and to see their support and being able to play with the girls that I've grown up with. It was a dream. It was awesome what we did at Onalaska, and just the support we received as being, taking the program from a different level. So it was really fun. I loved playing for the Hilltoppers.
Well, graduating as a tremendous student athlete at Onalaska, and then on to another chapter of your life. And we're going to talk about your career at Ripon, but were there other opportunities, and what led you to Ripon, Wisconsin?
Well, I got recruited by Coach Lauren Johnson, and I loved her as a person and as a coach. So I really respected her, and then I just fell in love with Ripon. I got to campus, and it immediately felt like home. It is a town much smaller than where I grew up, but I think that's what played a role in me wanting to go there. Just like I said with Onalaska, the community support was fantastic. So when I got to Ripon, the community was there for me as well, and I thought that was so cool, and I wanted to go play basketball for that community as well.
And I know I talked to your coach Lauren Johnson just the other day, and she shared a lot of things about you, but as you entered there as a freshman, there was a period of transition, perhaps not as much academically as there was athletically, because in your first season you only had 2 wins.
Yep.
And it was not what you had hoped for.
Right.
Let's go back to that transition in that first year.
Yeah, I was coming off of a senior season at Onalaska after winning every single regular season game, and then went to Ripon College, and we only won 2 games that season. So my life did a 180 for basketball. But, I wouldn't trade it for a second, because I think it developed me into the person who I am today, and it developed me into the player that I was later in my career.
But that was challenging, though.
Mm-hmm.
You probably had some second thoughts about whether you wanted to play there, whether you wanted to be part of that sort of reconstruction project, because you'd come from so much success. Was there a period of doubt?
There was. I mean, just for a second, I would think, am I cut out for this? Is this really what I should be doing? Am I ready for this? And then as soon as that popped in my mind, I just threw it away, and I said, yeah, I'm meant to be here. I need to work harder, and I need to get better, and we'll do it as a team, and we'll grow. And I think that was really important for me wanting to stay there and me wanting to create my career there.
No homesickness or anything? Huh?
No homesickness, no.
Oh, boy, she grew up awful fast.
Yeah.
Because the majority of young people I've talked to, there was a period of adjustment then homesickness
No, it
certainly
wasn't too
played
bad.
into it. Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk more with Emma McDonald, and we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more here on Seven Rivers Sports.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team
who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, your comfort is our business.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports again. We are catching up today on our show this week with Emma McDonald. Just graduated last Sunday from Ripon. We're taping the show here on May 16th, and a great conversation first half of the show. Well, moving on, you're at Ripon College. We talked about your freshman year, and you were a vital part of a reconstruction program that culminated this past year with being the MCC champions, Midwest Conference champions.
Yep.
17-8, 14-2. I'm sure you thought back in your freshman year that may never happen, but with you being a catalyst to the work habits of a culture that built success, that must feel pretty good.
Yeah, it certainly did, because like you said, at the end of my freshman year, obviously I was working hard, gunning towards getting a conference championship, but that's never promised to anyone who works hard. It was great to end my career on that note, so I'm proud of what we did, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. So
here, besides being all conference for senior year and leading the program in 167 career threes, which is first on the all-time list, probably even more significant is something that I want to really emphasize, and that's academic All-American first team. And you heard it here on Seven Rivers Sports. Maybe the other media hasn't covered it, but now the world knows the success of Emma McDonald. And not only were you a tremendous student at Onalaska, but you carried that over to a 4.0 average in biology. I'm telling you, that is unbelievable, impressive. That is incredible.
thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, I take school very seriously, and you know, being a student athlete, it's important because I knew I wasn't going to go on to play basketball forever, and yeah, so I really took that to heart.
An Elite 20 award, 3 seasons. Share a little bit about that.
So the Elite 20 award is given to the player with the top GPA at the conference tournament. So you have to make it to the conference tournament first, which is given to the top 4 teams in the conference at the end of the regular season. So.
And then you also were certainly a leader, and you're a leader just by example, not because you're looking to necessarily shine the proverbial spotlight on yourself, but you were on the student athlete leadership team. What is that?
The student athlete leadership team at Ripon is just representatives from each team come and meet every week, and we just talk about concerns that we might have as student athletes or what we want to do in the community to make a difference, and then we also support other student athletes at their competitions.
And as a leader, particularly as a senior, you were looked at as being sort of the person to look to for advice. And there must have been some drama. There must have been some issues where maybe some players were not playing to their ability, maybe making some bad decisions. Did you have to handle some of that?
Yeah, there's always some sort of, you know, drama between players, you know, every year. But it's how you handle those relationships and those problems that really help your team excel forward. So I ran into a couple of those things. I just tried to treat everyone fairly and, you know, lead as if I was the one in the issue, wanting to just help everyone that I could. And it all worked out, and, you know, we made it through.
You know, there's a lot of young people, including, we have 15 grandchildren, and I want them to be successful, of course, and as students and as athletes. And a lot of people are looking for advice from people like you that are on a platform, that realize that they're on a platform. What advice would you give for those young people listening, or parents, to share with their children?
For any young people out there, any young athletes, I would just say work as hard as you can, because your career goes by really fast. You know, in the blink of an eye, it's gone, and you don't want to have any regrets. So I think the best way to do that is just to work as hard as you can, get in the gym all the time, or whatever your craft is, go work on it. And then also just make as many connections as you can with people. That's why I chose basketball. I love team sports. I think it's so much fun to have a team surrounding you during your failures and during your success. So, you know, just make connections, work as hard as you can, and you'll have a really good time.
Well, Jay Billis, one of my a tremendous author and a sportscaster, talks about the concept of being a team player, and he talks about having a teachable spirit. Teachable spirit means that you welcome corrections, you welcome people coming in and evaluating your game. You want to be coached. Mm-hmm. And that describes you as a Hilltopper athlete, and according to Coach Lauren Johnson, that describes you as a college athlete. You had an appetite to want to learn. Mm-hmm. Talk about the importance of that.
Yeah, I think it's really important, because it's always great to have an outside eye look at your game and try to tell you, you know, you're doing this wrong, so try to correct it, and it'll take your game from good to great. In the summer, I'd work really hard in the gym and, you know, lift weights and run on my own, but when I got back in the fall, what I really craved was having someone coach me, having someone help me out. Like, I have great connections with like my dad and my grandpa are always coaching me too, and some other people, but it's just when you get back to campus, I was just ready to be coached, and I think it's really important just because it takes your game, you know, so much further.
Well, your coach said you led the team in terms of your dedication. You're going in the gym countless hours, especially after your freshman year, not having success, and really working on your shot, which is why you're the leading all-time three-point shooter in the history of Ripon women's basketball. You ended up with 871 career points, and again, you took your team to a conference championship. So did you ever anticipate in high school or in your first year that you would, as a player and as a team, have that much success?
No, I didn't predict it, but I wanted to work for it. I think just the way that the game goes, you have to just put in as much work as you can, and the success comes with it. And you know, I just think that's what made it so much fun, is the way that the effort that you put in is what you get out of it.
Well, you know, one of the core values that a lot of coaches talk about is enthusiasm too. Don't make an effort with lukewarm sort of effort. Mm-hmm. And sell the farm is a common phrase, and just be as enthusiastic as possible, because it has a rippling effect on others. Were you that way all 4 years, and were you that way off the court?
I would say I developed into that a lot more in my later part of my career. It was hard my freshman year. We won 2 games. You know, I didn't think about being the spark would help. But then as I got further along in my career, I realized, you know, giving touches, giving high fives, celebrating really great plays with your teammates, it takes your team a lot farther, just because, like you said, it's a spark. It gets everyone connected, it gets everyone involved, and it's really a lot more fun.
Well, a lot of people have the physical abilities, but they do not have the mental approach. They're not tough mentally. Mm-hmm. Maybe tough physically, but not tough mentally. Jay Billis again talks about mental toughness. Bob Knight talks about mental toughness. And you seem to have developed that mental toughness that's going to take you to success in your career too. Were you always that mentally tough?
I think what really turned my mental toughness was my freshman year. I had never experienced a season where I'd only won 2 games, and going to practice every day, it was tough. We were worked super hard because we needed it. We needed to find that success again, and being mentally tough was a big part of that. Being able to be resilient after tough losses, being able to pick your teammates up after, you know, bad plays or something that didn't go our way. It was important that we all stayed together and that we stayed mentally tough, and I think that freshman year was really where I took off with that.
So mental toughness and resiliency, is that the 2 biggest takeaways from being involved in high school and college athletics?
Yeah, I think being resilient and then also just putting in as much effort as you can, whether that's community service or in the gym and during practice or just hanging out with your teammates, being there for everyone, being mentally tough. Yeah, it's all part of the game.
Well, graduated last Sunday from Ripon, on to next month already, getting your master's and then hopefully doctorate degree in physical therapy at Madison. Are you a little bit apprehensive about that?
A little nervous. It's bittersweet. I was really sad leaving Ripon. It became my home over the last 4 years, but I'm really excited to take what I've learned as a student athlete and put it into my career as a physical therapist.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're going to have success there. Maybe come back to this area and do a little work with one of the medical centers?
I would love to. We have great hospitals in the area, and yeah, I love this area. So if I ended up back here, I'd be very happy.
If I asked your teammates at Ripon to tell me about you, what would they say about Emma McDonald?
I think they would say I'm a pretty positive person. Good team player, and I hope they had fun playing with me because I had fun playing with them.
Is that how you want to be remembered too? If 10, 20 years from now your name comes up as a Red Hawk, what would they say?
Well, yeah, I guess I would just hope that they really liked me as a teammate because that's what I was there for. I was there to be their teammate, and the success that we had along with it was really fun. So
coaching in a little bit of your thought process?
I would love to. I would love to return to the game, give back what it gave to me.
Yeah. How about the WNBA? There's a team called the Minnesota Lynx. Is that a possibility?
We'll see about that. Maybe I'll stick to physical therapy for now.
Well, we go to some of those games in Minneapolis, so it'd be fun to see somebody from the lacrosse area as a Minnesota Lynx. So
never say never.
I know the coach too, so maybe I'll just maybe like you've done in your whole career, you've flew under the proverbial radar gun, but I'll share some things about you. What's something people don't know about Emma McDonald?
Ooh, I would say that my favorite sandwich is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You know, people joke about like college kids, they eat peanut butter and jelly and ramen. Well, I love it. I love peanut butter jelly sandwiches, and I make a mean. Was that
your pregame meal?
Yeah. Oftentimes it was.
Really?
Yeah, that was the secret.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure to reconnect with you and to introduce you and catch up with Emma McDonald, because a lot of people have maybe forgotten about her and what she's accomplished in her brief time on this earth, doing a tremendous job, and it's remarkable. You are. It was really great to have you on the show.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right. We'll be back with some closing thoughts and some film clips right after this.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team
who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning. Your comfort is our business.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. Well, Dan Diker and I were at Lee Gilbert Field on Tuesday for a WIAA regional game between the Melrose Mindoro Mustangs and the Aquinas Blue Gulls. Plenty of fans on hand to watch two of the better teams in Division III in this postseason matchup. It was a pitcher's duel between the Mustangs' Brett Gertis and senior Blue Gold Randy Jacobson. Melrose Mindoro scored first on a Blue Gold error in the second inning. Aquinas answered in the bottom of the fifth, scoring 2 runs on 3 straight hits. Jacob Salvadelli and Jared Everson each had 2 RBIs. Jacobson, Nick Schlick, and Jack Coleman all had 2 hits for the Blue Golds. Pitchers Brett Gertis and Randy Jacobson were selected as our players of the game for this regional game. Melrose Mindoro closes the season with a 9-4 record, while Aquinas advances to the regional championship against Osseo Fairchild on Wednesday at 5 p.m. and we'll be there to cover that game. More postseason baseball ahead here on KQEG. Also, we continue to cover Knights of Thunder Racing every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Thanks for joining us this week on Seven Rivers Sports. Next week, we profile 3 outstanding student athletes, UWL women's track and field with Kamisha Thomas, Tori Washa, and Sarah Gillis. Till then, I'm your host, Terry Erickson, hoping that you will have an active and a healthy week ahead.